The radio crackles at 3:40 p.m. Lieutenant Charles Taylor's voice cuts through the static, tight with confusion. We are not sure of our position. We cannot see land. It's December 5th, 1945. The weather is perfect. Visibility unlimited. These are not rookie pilots. Taylor is a combat veteran with 2,500 flight hours. The TBM Avenger is one of the Navy's most reliable bombers. Ground control can hear the pilots talking to each other. They're arguing. By 5 p.m., the transmissions grow weaker. Background voices, panicked and overlapping. One pilot begs Taylor to turn command over to another crew member. Taylor refuses. At 7:04 p.m., silence. 5 aircraft, 14 men, gone. The Navy launches the largest air-sea rescue in history. A Martin Mariner flying boat with 13 crew lifts off from Banana River Naval Air Station at 7:27 p.m. The search continues for 5 days. 300 aircraft, dozens of ships. They comb 250,000 square miles of ocean. Not a single piece of wreckage. No life rafts, no oil slicks, no bodies. The zone where they vanished has a name now, the Bermuda Triangle. Since 1945, at least 75 aircraft have disappeared inside the triangle without explanation. Small private planes? Yes. But also military transports, commercial airliners, experienced crews in clear weather. Many never sent a distress call. January 1948, 3 years after Flight 19, a British Tudor IV airliner, Star Tiger, carries 25 passengers and 6 crew from London to Bermuda. 1 year later, the Star Tiger's sister ship, Star Ariel, departs Bermuda for Jamaica. 50 minutes into the flight, Captain John McPhee reports clear skies and smooth flying. Then nothing. Search teams find the ocean empty, as always. December 1948, 6 months before Star Ariel vanishes, a Douglas DC-3 charter flight carries 32 passengers from Puerto Rico toward Miami. Captain Robert Lindquist has logged thousands of hours. The pattern is always the same. Routine flight, experienced crew, no distress, then silence. The Coast Guard searches for 5 days. They find 1 seat cushion floating in the Gulf Stream, nothing else. October 1954. A U.S. Navy super constellation with 42 crew vanishes between Maryland and the Azores, November 1956. A Navy patrol bomber disappears off Bermuda, 10 crew, January 1962. A U.S. February 1963. A U.S. Marine Corps transport plane leaves North Carolina for the Azores. The twin-engine C-119 flying boxcar carries a crew of 10. Weather is clear. The aircraft is in perfect condition. It never reaches the Azores. By the mid-1960s, the Pentagon has a growing file of unexplained losses. But the disappearances aren't just military. Private aircraft vanish at an even higher rate. Small Cessnas, corporate jets. 5 TBM Avenger bombers departed Fort Lauderdale at 2:10 p.m. Last radio contact recorded at 7:04 p.m., 4 hours into a 2-hour drill. Search covered 250,000 square miles and found nothing. June 1965. A flying Tiger Line cargo plane carrying supplies to Vietnam makes a refueling stop in California, then heads east toward the Atlantic. This is the quiet terror of the Bermuda Triangle. It doesn't respect geography. Planes vanish over the heartland. Ships disappear in calm seas. The zone's borders are slippery, undefined. Some say it shifts. December 1967. Chase YC-122 cargo plane disappears between Fort Lauderdale and Bimini. February 1971. A cargo plane vanishes off the Florida coast. March 1984. The numbers climb quietly. 75 aircraft. Over 1,000 lives. And these are only the confirmed disappearances. Cases where the plane was tracked, the route known, the weather recorded. The theories multiply as fast as the vanishings. Magnetic anomalies that spin compasses and scramble instruments. Methane gas erupting from the seafloor, reducing water density so ships sink instantly. But here's what the theorists can't explain: the silence. Aircraft have radios, emergency beacons, black boxes. Modern planes broadcast their position every second. The U.S. Navy takes a different stance. In 2020, they issue a statement. The Bermuda Triangle does not appear on any official map. We do not recognize it as a geographic designation. And it doesn't. In over 75 years, the triangle has returned almost nothing. A life vest, once, a seat cushion, an empty raft, but no bodies, no intact wreckage, no answers. Deep does not explain selective, because here is what haunts investigators. Planes disappear, ships disappear, but debris does not surface. In 1948, a DC-3 carrying 32 passengers vanished 50 miles from Miami. The Coast Guard searched for weeks. No oil slick, no floating luggage, no seat cushions that regulations require to float. 32 people and a 4-engine plane erased. 6 months later, a sister aircraft, Star Aerial, disappeared on the same route. 20 passengers. A pattern was emerging. The triangle did not damage planes. It consumed them whole. In 1954, a U.S. Navy super constellation with 42 crew vanished without a trace. Last position, 200 miles east of Florida. Weather, clear. By 1960, the count was staggering. 14 aircraft lost in the previous decade, more than Flight 19, more than any other oceanic region of comparable size. The Navy convened a classified inquiry, but pilots knew. In logbooks and debriefs, a phrase kept recurring: compass failure. In 1970, a cargo pilot reported his instruments spinning wildly over the triangle. He navigated by stars, barely made landfall. His compass never recovered. Magnetic anomalies. The Bermuda Triangle sits atop one of only 2 places on Earth where true north and magnetic north align. That alignment shifts unpredictably. A compass can swing 30 degrees in minutes. But magnetic variation is charted. Pilots train for it. And it does not explain the planes that vanished with multiple navigation systems. In 1991, a Grumman Cougar jet disappeared off Grand Bahama. Electronic failure, then. But what causes it? In 2003, researchers at Monash University proposed methane hydrates, frozen methane deposits on the ocean floor that, when disturbed, erupt. The gas rises, reduces water density. The area spans 500,000 square miles between Florida, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Water depths reach 19,000 feet in some sections. Over 1,000 lives lost in unexplained incidents since 1945. And a plane? Methane in the air alters density, chokes engines. The theory is elegant, testable, except the triangle's methane deposits are no larger than those in the Gulf of Mexico or the North Sea. Weather, then. The triangle sits in Hurricane Alley. Storms form with little warning. Waterspouts, tornadoes over water, can reach wind speeds of 150 miles per hour. But Flight 19 vanished in clear weather. The DC-3, clear weather. The Navy Constellation, clear weather. The pattern holds. Most triangle disappearances occur when conditions are good, when pilots have no reason to suspect danger. In 1975, author Charles Berlitz published The Bermuda Triangle. The book sold 5 million copies. It cataloged every disappearance, every theory, every unanswered question. And it proposed one more: extraterrestrial interference. The idea caught fire. The U.S. Navy responded with a statement: "We do not recognize the Bermuda Triangle as a geographic area of specific hazard." The statistic that launched 1,000 theories, 75 missing planes, was dismissed as unremarkable. Except the rate is not unremarkable. Researcher Larry Kusha spent years verifying Berlitz's cases. He found errors, exaggerations. Some planes disappeared outside the triangle, some in storms, not clear skies. And then there are the survivors. Few, but they exist. In 1972, a pilot named Bruce Gernon flew through a tunnel-shaped cloud over the Bahamas. His instruments failed. Time seemed to compress. Gernon called it an electronic fog. Other pilots reported the same: a gray mist that clings to the aircraft, disrupts radios, bends light. Meteorologists found no known phenomenon that matches. In 1995, the wreckage of a World War II bomber was found off the Florida coast. The plane had been missing since 1943. When divers examined it, they found something strange. The fuselage was imploded. Pressure anomalies, time distortions, instrument failure. The theories multiply, but none unify. In 2013, oceanographer Meyer Verlog proposed rogue waves, walls of water 100 feet high that form without warning. One could swamp a ship in seconds. Verlog suggested low-altitude aircraft caught in the wave's updraft could stall and plunge, but Flight 19 was at 5,000 feet, the Navy Constellation at 18,000, too high for any wave. The theory explains some losses. By 2020, the official count stood at 75 aircraft, over 100 ships. The triangle's boundaries remain disputed. Bermuda to Miami to Puerto Rico, some say. Others draw it wider, swallowing half the Caribbean, but shrink it to the original zone, the 500,000 square miles where Flight 19 vanished, and the rate holds. One aircraft lost every 10 months for 75 years. The Navy calls it coincidence. And the search goes on. In 2016, treasure hunters using deep sonar claimed to have found Flight 19 buried in 15 feet of sand off the Florida coast. The Navy investigated. The serial numbers did not match. Wrong plane. Every few years, someone claims to have solved it. Freak waves, microbursts, pilot error, insurance fraud. Each theory accounts for some disappearances. None accounts for all. And so the triangle keeps its dead, keeps its secrets. The Puerto Rico Trench reaches 27,493 feet deep. Nearly Mount Everest inverted water pressure at that depth equals 12,000 pounds per square inch. Sound travels 1,500 meters per second underwater, distorting sonar searches. But here's what the skeptics never mention. The U.S. Navy conducted a classified study in 1977, Project Magnet. They mapped magnetic anomalies across the entire triangle. What they found was buried for decades. 2 zones, each roughly 60 miles across, where magnetic north doesn't point north, compasses spin, navigation systems fail, GPS, decades away, wouldn't have helped Flight 19. In 1963, a Marine cargo plane, Key 119 flying boxcar, disappeared carrying 10 crew. Last transmission, the co-pilot screaming that all instruments had gone dark. Not malfunctioning, dark. As if the plane itself had died mid-flight. 13 minutes later, radar showed the plane's altitude plummeting. 10,000 feet, 7,000, 4,000. Then the blip vanished. Coast Guard searched for 9 days, found 1 seat cushion. That's all. Then there's the case no one can explain. December 1967. A Cessna 172, tiny 4-seater, takes off from Fort Lauderdale. Pilot radios 10 minutes in. I see a strange light. That's the last anyone hears. Strange light. Not storm. Not lightning. Not another aircraft. The FAA investigators' report uses the word 3 times, strange light, and then admits, "'cause of disappearance, undetermined translation. We have no idea." Some researchers point to methane hydrate, frozen methane locked in the seabed. When it melts, earthquakes, underwater landslides, it bubbles up in massive plumes, changes the density of water. In 2003, scientists simulated it in a lab. They floated a model ship on water, released gas from below. The ship didn't list, didn't capsize. It dropped like a stone, no time to send a mayday. But methane doesn't explain aircraft, unless the gas cloud itself is massive enough to choke jet engines. In 2016, scientists found a crater on the ocean floor, 1/2 mile wide, 500 feet deep. If a plane flew through a rising methane cloud, the engines wouldn't just fail. They'd flame out instantly. The aircraft would become a glider, over open ocean, at night, with no power, no radio, no chance. Yet methane is detectable. Satellites can see it, ships can smell it. Not one crew ever reported gas in the water. Not one pilot ever radioed about an engine flameout from contaminated air. The theory fits. So the conspiracy theorists went deeper, literally. They point to the Puerto Rico Trench, the deepest part of the Atlantic, 27,493 feet down. Pressure so immense it would crush a submarine like a soda can. In 1964, a deep-sea camera array, part of a Navy listening station, captured something on film. 7 frames, something moving, too big to be a whale, too fast to be a submarine. The footage was classified. Analysts estimated the object's size at 200 feet, moving at 80 knots, at 5,000 feet depth. No known vessel could do that. The Navy's official statement: optical anomaly, equipment malfunction, but they never released the full tape. Then there's the testimony of Captain Don Henry, commercial pilot, 28 years experience, December 1971, flying a DC-3 cargo run to Nassau. Clear night, full moon. Then his cockpit instruments went haywire. 75 aircraft disappeared in the triangle between 1945 and 2020. Peak disappearances occurred during the 1950s and 60s. 14 planes in one decade, most vanished in daylight, in calm weather, with experienced crews. Altimeter spinning, compass frozen, horizon indicator flipping upside down. He looked out the window. The ocean below was glowing, not reflecting the moon. Glowing, green, like something underneath was lit up. Then it stopped. Instruments came back. Henry filed a report. The FAA interviewed him twice, then stamped the file. No explanation found. Years later, he said in an interview, "I don't know what I flew over." In 1975, a German cargo ship, the Anita, radioed for help. Engines dead, steering gone, drifting. Coast Guard dispatched a cutter. By the time they arrived, the Anita was empty. Crew of 32 vanished. The galley had food on the table, coffee still warm in the pot. Captain's log open on the bridge. Last entry, all systems failure. Position uncertain, then nothing. The ship was towed to port. Investigators found no explanation. Some say the triangle is a doorway, a thin place where the membrane between worlds wears through, where our physics stop applying, where ships and planes don't crash, they slip through, to wherever the lost go. Ridiculous, of course. Except that in 2017, scientists confirmed the existence of quantum tunneling at macroscopic scales, particles vanishing from one location, reappearing in another. No journey in between, just gone, then there. In 1989, a Cuban pilot flying to Miami reported seeing a passenger jet below him, a DC-4, propeller-driven. He radioed it, no response. It flew straight into a cloud bank. He followed. On the other side, nothing. A DC-4, the same model as the one that vanished in 1948. Flight 201, Miami to San Juan, 33 people, gone without a trace. 41 years earlier, the pilot described the registration number. It matched. The encounter was never officially investigated. The FAA opened no file. The airline made no statement. Within weeks, the story had vanished from the press. But the pilot's logbook entry remained, December 14, 1989. Skeptics dismiss it as folklore, a misread tail number, atmospheric interference. But the case file sits in private archives, annotated, corroborated by tower recordings, and it asks a question no one wants to answer. By the early 2000s, the list had grown. 75 aircraft, lost between Miami, Bermuda, and San Juan. Some in clear weather, some with experienced crews, some that radioed no distress. The triangle had become aviation's graveyard. In 2003, a Navy study declassified data on magnetic anomalies. The Western Triangle showed deviations of up to 20 degrees, compasses spinning, instruments failing. The same year, NOAA mapped methane seeps across 50,000 square miles of the triangle floor, deposits of frozen gas, stable at depth. But when the crust cracks, the methane explodes upward, a plume a mile wide. Laboratory tests confirmed it. A methane eruption reduces water density by half in under 10 seconds. A ship loses buoyancy. A plane loses lift if it flies through the gas cloud. Both drop. But methane doesn't explain Flight 19's final transmission. The instruments going haywire. The white water that wasn't water. The sense that reality itself was breaking. Critics argued it was mass hysteria, pilot error, except the tower heard it. In 2007, a fishing trawler off Bimini reported a massive electromagnetic pulse. Every instrument on the boat died. The compass needle spun like a rotor. Then, for 30 seconds, the ocean surface turned mirror flat. No wind. Between 1945 and 2020, At least 75 aircraft disappeared in the triangle, more than 1,200 lives lost with no bodies ever recovered from 23 incidents. Search operations have covered over 890,000 square miles of ocean floor. The crew photographed the event, submitted the images to the Coast Guard. No investigation was opened. The photos remain on file. And the question lingers, what force can halt the ocean itself? Some researchers point to the Sargasso Sea, a 2 million square mile zone of still water in the triangle's eastern edge. No currents, thick with seaweed. Ships have drifted there for centuries, becalmed, trapped, the crew slowly dying of thirst. Others cite rogue waves, freak surges 100 feet high, born from intersecting currents. They rise without warning, smash a ship to splinters, then vanish. But a rogue wave leaves wreckage, debris, oil slicks, bodies. The triangle's vanishings leave nothing. 12% recovery rate, lower than any other ocean zone, as if the missing vessels were erased, removed from existence, not destroyed, disappeared. The most radical theory came in 2013. A physicist proposed that the triangle sits atop a gravitational anomaly, a point where space-time curves inward, not enough to notice on land, but enough to warp radar. The mainstream dismissed it. Pseudoscience, fantasy. But the Navy quietly ran tests, dropped sensors to the seafloor, measured gravitational flux. The data was classified, never published. In 2017, a drone survey mapped the triangle's western trench. 7 miles deep, unmapped, unexplored. The sonar returned strange echoes, geometric, too regular to be natural. The team descended with a submersible. No salvage operation was attempted. The cost was too high, the depth too great. But the sonar images leaked online, and researchers saw them. Structures, symmetrical, massive, sitting on the seafloor for centuries, or millennia, or longer. The Bermuda Triangle remains open, unregulated. Thousands of flights cross it every year, hundreds of ships. Most arrive safely, but every few years, another vessel winks off the radar. Another crew, radios, something impossible. The USS Cyclops, 306 people, vanished in 1918, the largest non-combat loss in Navy history. No storm, no distress call, one moment on the charts, the next, gone. The official report said structural failure. No wreckage was ever found, not a lifeboat, not a body, not a single floating piece of debris. 306 souls, erased. And the Navy closed the case, 'cause unknown. A century later, it remains unknown. The Bermuda Triangle is not a place, it's a question, a test of how much we admit we don't know. Science offers theories. Methane, magnetism, rogue waves, all plausible, all incomplete, because the triangle doesn't follow rules. 75 aircraft, hundreds of ships, thousands of lives, lost to a stretch of ocean that offers no closure, no wreckage, no graves, just questions, and the ocean, and the sky, and the line between them. Flight 19 took off on a training run. Routine, familiar. 5 planes, 14 men. They never came home. And somewhere in the triangle, they're still out there, flying, searching, calling for a way back. The sky is empty, the sea is dark, and the mystery endures. Because in the Bermuda Triangle, the only certainty is this. Some doors, once opened, never close. Some questions, once asked, echo forever.